FM7. We're back at Mugello, back in the Renault Megane RS, back doing some testing. So, as you can see, I have put on the Forza Horizon front wing to my car, and we're going to see what effect this has on the Megane. Will it make me faster? Will it make me slower? We're going to also, after this cycle lap, I'm going to take the front wing off. We're going to put the rear wing on, see what happens. I can imagine the rear wing on this car isn't going to have as much of an effect as I'd think, or as you'd think. My prediction is that the front wing is going to help us turn. The rear wing will keep the back end a bit more stable, but because everything's done through the front, might make my steering a little bit lighter. Still the stock car, same car I was using in the first video, haven't changed anything to it, just added that front Aero wing. So let's see what happens. We go around this corner. It does feel pretty good, but it's really hard to tell. I've done some career mode racing since the last video. I've been practicing a little bit. I've got a stock car time. I've been racing the stock car around a little bit. I wasn't watching back overly convinced that my lap was the tidiest I could have done with the stock car, and I wanted to make sure that obviously I was testing myself, being not a professional sim racer, just doing this for the query that's always gone on. It's always been the first thing I've thrown on, is things like Aero parts. I've already had the finance, thrown on the race parts, because I've always just assumed they were quicker, but are they? Do they make a difference? Are there parts that we can get away with not putting in? My best time in stock car was 2:25.882. That's my best time. I don't know how that compares to anyone else's. I would love to know your times using a stock Megane. Well, maybe you can try this experiment, see whether you go quicker or not than me. I probably do need a lot more practice. But we're going to give this 2 laps unless I really mess them up. Two racing laps now in this car. I'm in test mode this time rather than race mode. I'm not sure how I've validated my lap time already. A bit too heavy on the brakes. Through the first corner somehow. Doesn't feel the tidiest. Kinda wish I could post up my old previous lap time on here and test race against my Ghost or something like that. Maybe I can, maybe I've just missed it. Quicker than the last lap somehow. Down the hill. I tried this track in my in a few other cars the other day. Tried racing this Skyline through here. Found that downhill section in a bigger, heavier car. So, I think a big difference is going to come when I take off. I'm going to start changing the braking. Those brakes to a higher level of brakes. We'll probably go through handling first, suspension and braking. And maybe we'll look at drivetrains. Said before, all-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive. So 2:25.8 was my time in just a stock car. Added that front wing to it. A bit slower this time. go a second and a half quicker to make any improvements. Maybe I will do 3 laps. Bit of concentration going on here. I think the front wing does make the front end feel a little bit more direct. I would expect Aero to maybe make my car a little slower in a straight line, because it forces the car into the ground, but I thought through the track, with the length of the track, it would probably make me a bit quicker. Obviously at the moment I'm only forcing the front end down, I'm not forcing the rear end down. The rear end, so this car just follows the front end, being it's front wheel drive. I can imagine if I put front aero on a rear wheel drive car, I'd probably get a different effect. Once we finish testing these Aero parts here, we are going to take them to Le Mans, test them down the Mulsanne straight, see what it does to my top speed. Should be able to get top speed down the Mulsanne. Okay, back down the big straight. Still slower. Right, I'm going to give it one more go. We're going to have to re-investigate Aeros once this car's had engine swaps and sort of engine tunes and things like that. It's much more great. Maybe it's stock, it's just not having an effect. Maybe I don't go quick enough for it to help me. I've not tuned the Aero, I have just popped this body kit on as is standard. I say I do like the rear wing on this car. It does look nice. I think it's a bit ridiculous. It's a bit of a large wing, but Megane doesn't come with a lot of body kit options. I'd chosen something that had a few more options with it. Then we could experiment with those. I'd probably just put the full kits on and off, like I said in my previous video. If maybe we can test this with multiple cars. Once we finish with the Megane, maybe we'll try something a bit more powerful. Maybe try a sports car. Or at least an A-class car. The old dab there, just get the front end turned. Into this last chicane. Concentrating on getting it around there tidily. I did tip my last split, I was up a little bit. Drive to the line, this could be close. Have a look at that time. Oh, it was not. 2:26. Put that down. 2:26.103. Not a quick, a massively improved time. So, I can tune my car, I can't add stuff to it. So I have to hop out of the race. I go into here, I can tune my car. Nip to the upgrade shop. So I'm going to take the front wing off and put back on the standard non-adjustable front bumper and pop on the large real race wing. There we go. Let's see what I can do with that on. I honestly thought that I would go quicker with the front wing on. I thought it would help me. I got the large rear wing on. I thought this would cause me an issue. This is forcing the back end of the car down. Obviously, the front end is where all the engine is where the steering and the power is going to the track. The rear wheel drive, maybe just this wing would help. But not really expecting much from the rear wing. This rear wing makes the car go faster, then maybe we've unlocked the secret to Forza Motorsport. But I somehow doubt it. I'm hoping the Aero package as a whole will make us go quicker. But now I'm not so sure. That was my original prediction, would make us quicker around here but slower down the Mulsanne straight. Maybe I just didn't drive as well as I did last time. But I was constantly almost a second over my time. Close to a second over my time back. That was about 0.3 that last one, so it was getting close. I think the front wing made the front end more predictable. It helped it turn in a lot better. And it made the front end predictable. I think it was easier to lap more consistently, maybe. If I can take this one flat. Yes, I can. This, the front end seems really wobbly. The back end seems a lot more planted with the rear wing, kind of like what you'd expect. I have to be very careful around there with the throttle to try and keep the nose in. Okay, first flying lap. Imagine that tyre chatter is coming off the front wheels. Yeah, definitely doesn't feel as planted at the front as the front wing made the car. I gave the front wing 3 laps. Because I honestly expected it to make it quicker. Don't expect this one to make me any quicker. I'm probably going to give it 2. Obviously lap times are compared to what I did last time. Sorry, not compared to what I did last time. They're compared to my laps in this configuration. So again, there's no comparison. I didn't really want to keep jumping in and out of races. Unfortunately, you can't change things like these aeros mid-race. Saying that, I don't know whether if I'll hop into the pits, it gives me the option to change opponents and keeps my lap time. I will maybe do an experimentation with that off stream. If that happens, then it saves me jumping in and out of races, allows me to set a standard lap time and try and go up against it. I'm giving it a massive amount of power, but I'm having to give it full lock in those corners. Get around, I'm definitely missing that front aerodynamic. What? I've gone quicker with just the rear wing on. Ladies and gentlemen, I am gobsmacked at that. How is my front end sliding out everywhere? The rear wing seems to make my car understeer more than having no wing at all. Obviously, because its back end isn't going to try and overtake me as much. It's much more planted. Apparently that makes me quicker. Which is weird to me, because I've always preferred the feel of an oversteery car. And now I have to drive something that feels a little bit understeery. Very, very weird. I've been driving my car wrong all this time. I'm very surprised at that. I honestly, my prediction so far has been horrifically wrong. I thought front wing would make me quicker, rear wing would slow me down. Overall, an entire balance package would make the car quicker, but slower at maybe reduce my top speed. But it appears that the front wing is slowing me down, and the rear wing only makes my car quicker. This is really odd, because the drive wheels are the ones at the front. I didn't go as quick that time, I lost it in the corner. Why is that saying 2:33? Oh, because it wasn't a clear lap. My fastest lap was my clear one. I'm going to have to go back and check the video for the fastest lap without aero. With rear aero, so let's upgrade. Pop front wing up. So, a couple of laps of full aero. Let's go. Let's see what this does. So front wing, rear wing, full aero kit on. Let's go. All the chatter on the wheels. You can see the tyres a little bit cold right now. I forgot the game wouldn't like the fact that I hopped a curb. Not intentionally, I don't think it makes much of a massive difference. It won't like that. Oh, so I've run wide there. That shouldn't... Well, I'm not going to gain any advantage there. If anything, I've probably lost time. I'm liking this Megane. It's I like little hatchbacks. I thought it'd be a good place to start. And a car you could pick up from your local car dealer. Probably pick one of these up off Auto Trader now. And a car you'd see on the street. So we'll try some race cars. Some A-class car. Maybe try an A-class car after this one. This is a low standard car. So guys, please check out my Twitter. It's tx_plays. There's a pinned tweet to the top of that top of my messages for you to get your name on my Nissan Skyline, which I did a video with the other day on Twitch. I'm going to put the names of the people who retweet that image and who follow the Twitter page. I'll do both of those. Get your name on the car. Get yourself a bit of fame. You can say you're involved in some videos. Also want to do some racing, get some guys out, do some online racing. Not really a big fan of open lobbies. Open lobbies, not a big fan of some people's idea of fun. Racing isn't my idea of a fun race. Not about ramming people off the track just because they're better drivers than I am. Rubbing, little bumping, I'm fine with. Who's played this game and knows that pretty much how you get past any driver tar in the game. But full on, not even attempting to make a corner, taking people out isn't my thing. If I get a group of like-minded racers who are up for a bit of fun, yeah, we'll do some racing. I'm sure I will suck at it. Oh. Look at that, I validated my lap time for my front wheel just touching the white line. It barely touched the curb. Into the last section, sort of the return to home section. Get an idea of whether both aero kits make a difference. The car definitely looks a little bit lower, like it's coming down. And a 25.3. Definitely an improvement there. Half a second. Quicker than the no aero parts. And I wouldn't say I particularly drove it well. The 6 quicker. Pushing hard there. When I start to push, I start to miss my lines, miss my apexes, miss my exit points. Yeah, that's a bit better. Trying to go fast. Trying not to leave my braking too late, get my braking smooth, get my acceleration smooth. Just drive it through the corners nicely. Trying not to brake too hard whilst I'm turning. Just ease the brake on. Trying to be smooth. I'm on a journey through this with you. I'm not a sim racer, as I said before. Just here trying to learn out what happens, what the effects of these things are on the car. The car definitely feels much more planted and is clearly quicker, so let's see what I can do. Can I break the 124s? Didn't see the time. 124.8. Or 224.8. 869. So with both, the car goes a second quicker than it did with nothing. So let's take the car to a different track. Let's see what happens when we drive it down Le Mans. If I can remember where Le Mans is, because my alphabet. Great, I want the one with no chicane. Again, just a test drive, we're just going to drive it down the straight. Okay, welcome back. Just sorted out the car, loaded in Le Mans. So, I have taken the wheeling off. The wheeling is still off, tell me what order I put this in. Just the front aero. And we're going to see what top speeds we can achieve with front aero, rear aero, and both aeros. The highest I achieved. Yeah, look, the back end. Instantly, the back end is now much more loose. It is much looser than it was with rear aero on. Yeah, driving this with the stock car. Forza lists its top speed as 155 with its current tune. Down here, the most I can achieve is 153. So we'll see whether these make it quicker or slower. I think in a straight line, they're going to make it slower. And don't worry, I'm not doing whole laps of... concentrate, because this is the start of the straight. I'm not doing whole laps of Le Mans, I'm literally just going to race down the straight. As soon as we get to the end, whack on the brakes, load it back up, run it with the second car with the wing on. So here we go. This must have been crazy on a Le Mans car, you must be going so fast. We're doing 135, 36. That will be the first chicane, if you're racing this properly. Seems to be struggling to get up there with the speed now. 147, 48, 50. We are still creeping up, but very slowly. To blast past the second chicane. We're sitting at 149 and have to take this corner. .149 is currently the highest we've achieved, which is a lot. 4 miles an hour slower than the last one. I'm going to try to flip it in the gravel. Okay, back at Le Mans. Rear wing only this time. Front wing is off as we approach the Mustang straight. I hope I'm saying that right. The effect of not having the front aero was apparent as I came up the hill. I was all over the place. I've cut it out just to keep the video short, or short as possible. I'm going to also remove all the loading screens and things like that. But here we go, rear wheel only. I can imagine this isn't going to make me quicker, I wouldn't have thought. But is it quicker than having a rear wing than a front wing? $149 with a front wing, 153. We lost 4 miles an hour just by putting that front wing on. Already up to 143 here. We don't seem to be going any quicker. Oh, we've got 144. We've got a fair bit of straight to play with. Nearly 145. I'm losing 9 miles an hour on a stock car. And roll it in the gravel trap. All the parts fall off. Do a little nose spin. Okay, here we are with full body kit on. Not holding out much hope. Both front and rear made me slower. That is what I predicted. I just wasn't expecting it to be quite such a difference. These obviously make the car handle a lot better by forcing it into the road. But now we don't want it forced into the road so much. I almost wanted it lifted off the road slightly, but not too much. And obviously, this is the reason why Formula 1 cars, if you watch them at circuits like Monza, they have very little aero, their wings are very flat, because they want to be smooth and through the air as quick as possible, just enough to help them grip. And then you watch them at circuits like Monaco and street circuits, they have very steep rear wings, because they want the cars planted to the ground to help them get through the corners. Obviously, there's so many adjustments I can make to these wings. I can adjust all the angles and things like that. See what happens. We are not going as massively quick. We're doing 141 miles an hour approaching the second chicane. So conclusion wise, if you want to go quick in a straight line, don't put aero on your car. If you want to go quick around corners, put aerodynamics on. That's going to be it for today. So we now know that the car is quicker without aero on in a straight line, and I'm planning to go burnout in it because it's front wheel drive. So in a front line, in a straight line, you don't need this aero kit to go fast. Around a circuit, you do. Makes sense, really. It's kind of what I expected, but the gaps are what surprised me today. Next time, we're going to try suspension. We're going to put street, race and sport suspension on and see what happens to the car there. Not expecting top speeds to go up much, but hopefully lap times will come down. Anyway, I've been TX Plays, playing Forza Motorsport 7. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.